So recently, and quite a few times before, also over the last about I want to say over the last year or so, a lot of my friends and I, Cassandra and I especially, have talked a lot about the difference between playing the game and playing a character. And again, I just wanted to put up a really quick video about that. And while both are important. One can usually get in the way of the other, and sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. And I'll just present some thoughts here and let everybody else make their own decision and comment and whatnot. But what I mean by the difference between playing the character and playing the game is quite simply that when you sit down to a game, you have a character, and any game realistically. You sit down. You make your character write up stats, equipment, skills, abilities, traits, advantages, disadvantages, qualities, drawbacks, whatever the hell. And a lot of times, you also include things like personality and actual things that you're going to throw into the game for characterization. Things you do in order to play the character, the way a character would react to certain stimuli, to a certain situation, things like that. Sometimes this can lead to some difficulties, especially when you've got characters in the party with conflicting attitudes, conflicting ideas, and stuff like that. Now, for the most part, that's good. That's what you really want to have in a game. Because if everything were happy-go-lucky, yay, we all love each other, we all get along, yada yada, then sometimes it doesn't seem all that. It can seem somewhat unrealistic. But then again, we're talking about something that we all do for fun, something we get together to do in order to have fun. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes you don't exactly want a lot of realism in your games. Some people do, some people don't. It depends on whatever flavor you like, whatever flavor you're looking for. We actually have something of a joke. Inside joke going around the table every now and then about basically about the amount of realism that we'll have in a particular game. And the problem is that if with too much realism, or when characters do stuff that defies the laws of physics and whatnot, then you start arguing whether or not they could physically realistically do this. You start arguing realism in a game and whatnot, and then it's not D&D, then it's just D. So. But at the same time, you sometimes have to make concessions for certain things to happen. You actually have to give, as a player and also as a GM, you have to be able to give other players and as a player, you have to give the GM a little bit of leeway in order to make things work. And that's a situation where you play the game instead of the character. Something could happen, something could come up, and your character may react negatively towards it. But in order for the game to continue, in order for there to be party cohesion, in order for there to be harmony, if you will, in order for there to be harmony amongst the players, if not the characters, then sometimes you have to pull back a little bit and just sort of let things slide. An example of this actually came up in a game that was run by a friend of mine by the name of TJ, and he was running a 3.5 or a Pathfinder game. I forget exactly which, and the way that all of these evil monsters kept showing up is that they would just suddenly appear through a shadowy portal, and of course they were evil monsters coming to kill members of the party, blah blah blah, things like that. Well, then all of a sudden they decided to introduce a new character, a new player into the group, and as it turns out, he also arrived through one of these shadowy portals. Now the players and the characters, from experience, had learned that everything that had come through these shadowy portals previously tried to kill them. So when a new player shows up via one of these shadowy portals, they all had to kind of like rein it in a little bit, and essentially make a conscious decision, both in and out of character, to not kill and attack this new guy who is obviously, there to be, there to be an ally, there to be, another character in the group, another character in the party. So yeah, it can get kind of difficult sometimes, and it does kind of, it does kind of detract. It can detract from the way that you play your character, and it can also, it also sort of. Maybe it also sort of maybe puts a limitation or two on on a free form kind of game, free form style of running and playing. This is something that a lot of people have experienced and have kind of had to do, like I said, make these concessions in order to make sure that everybody is happy. Because as both a GM and a player, as a point of courtesy, realistically, you should be doing everything you can to try to make sure that everybody is enjoying the game, as much as possible. So that's it. I just wanted to put a quick couple of thoughts on that and give some examples. How do you personally deal with this as a player and as a GM? Any thoughts? Please feel free to share in the comments below, or do a video response as well. That'd be cool. I'd be more than willing to listen to some of those, watch those. That'd be awesome. But for now, that's it. I also want to let people know I recently asked for people to send in questions via Facebook and everything, and also through the RPG YouTube Brigade. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who sent their questions in, because I put the stuff up asking for questions to be answered, in a future video and whatnot, and my computer just blew up completely. I'm gonna have a hard time sifting through all the questions, and I'll try to get to everybody's questions, but that'll probably be the next video that I put up here pretty soon. So again, I just want to say thanks to everybody who participated in that. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Gabriel Stryffe, coming at you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Equitas Veritas Bellatus.